What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and I'm in a city that I heard a lot of good things and I've been wanting to check it out, which is Iloilo in the Visayas region. So I'm staying near the new modern area. So I'm gonna be starting up my video in the modern area and then make my way towards the older part of Iloilo. But I heard like a lot of good things about it, so gonna see what the city has to offer me. So far, I like how nice, clean, and developed the streets are. When I was riding the car from the airport towards my hotel, it looked pretty nice and organized out here. So, wow, even on a Saturday, it's busy. But yeah, so far, based on my map, with the hotel, I can see the Megaworld Boulevard is not far from where I'm staying. So I'm gonna walk towards there and see what's going on. So without further ado, join me. This is like the major highway over here. You can see the nice, well-paved roads. So I think a little ahead of me, I'll make a left, and it should be taking me to the modern area. You know, they have a lot of new developments going on. And then my observation is a lot of condos are building up here in Iloilo. Last night I was gonna start filming, but my vibe killed because it started pretty bad. You know, I booked an Airbnb, and when I arrived to the Airbnb, the room was actually dirty. It was not clean, so I canceled and I decided to book a hotel here. And the hotel so far has been pretty good, you know, breakfast included. The staff is being wonderful, so I guess things happen for a reason. And even better, the hotel's like in a better area. Like, you know, I'm closer to other cool things out here. So gonna walk towards Megaworld and I'll catch you guys in a bit. The street will take me to the modern area, and behind me you can see the new buildings going on. And traffic jam happening over here, but this is pretty normal everywhere you go in the Philippines. So you're passing like a modern area, but the streets are pretty clean and impeccable, and the air quality over here, you know, it's actually really good. It's crazy good. Like I see in the map, everything looks pretty close, but it's actually a little bit far in person. Bottom line, so far the heat is not kicking in yet, but it's expected to be like 103 degrees later. That's like 40, 41 Celsius. But it's already summertime here in the Philippines, so you know, it's to be expected. So here you can see the new beautiful condos they have going on over here. And ahead I see a sign that says Megaworld. I think they even have like a little mini modern Koreatown. So this is kind of like the modern part of Iloilo that's being developed. So since I'm staying nearby, we're gonna go check this part out. And you see the local areas over here combined with the modern architecture. And here's like I literally just enter another world. It's like a new modern downtown they got going on here, like a little, even like a little plaza. I want to show you how they made the architecture here. It's kind of like European vibes, but I think if I cross the street, you'll get a better view. This is kind of giving me vibes of Venice, Piazza, and Taguig, and Metro Manila, but yeah. Modern area, they got the Casa de Emperador over here in Iloilo. There's actually a modern mall over there, so. And then on the other side is like new condos, and then I think this ahead over here is the Megaworld Boulevard that they built. Every time when I Google Iloilo, this is what pops up right here, so. And then where this area over here is, I think it's the Koreatown with, you know, all the lights. I think in the nighttime it's actually pretty nice, but yeah. Gotta check my Google Maps and walk around here and probably capture some B-rolls, which I'm looking right here. But I think it's gonna be pretty interesting to walk this modern area, and then we're gonna make it later towards the Esplanade and then towards the older part of the downtown. So, you know, pretty interesting city so far. I think I like it here so far. I think I'm gonna start over here where it's the Festive Walk. Walk towards the end, and I'm gonna make it towards the Megaworld Boulevard to see what's going on. This area over here with the lights. So it's really cool, you know, and then see if I can cross the other side. There's just mostly like restaurants, you know, the architecture. I guess they try to make it seem like a modern Europe. Like I said, this is a newer part of Iloilo. Iloilo's really developing pretty fast out here in the Visayas region. I say the streets are pretty impeccable and pretty clean, you know. A lot of people, they feature it, so I've always wanted to come here, and finally, you know, I made a choice to come out here. But yeah, pretty standard what you get in any shopping center in the Philippines, you know, modern buildings, and it looks like this, so, you know, really cool. Then they have the outdoor sitting area over here where people can sit. So this is only early Saturday. I think later in the evening is when it gets pretty busy out here and people come out, you know, to eat. And ahead we got more buildings and more architecture, you know, which is actually pretty nice. I think this is like an avocado joint right here. Then over there they got like little outdoor stuff, so I think it's actually really cool. I like this over here. Beautiful building, you know. So it's pretty nice what they're doing out here in the development, you know, of this area. So here we got this, you know. So it's like the friendship of Ilongo and Korea. I think mostly the language spoken out here is Ilongo, since we're in the Visayas, you know. So yeah, that's really cool to know. More architecture over here. They even have like a Marriott hotel. That's the former company I used to work, but I think it's on the other side, so I'll probably check it out when I make it towards Boulevard, towards Megaworld Boulevard. But yeah, it's actually really cool out here. Then ahead of me, we're gonna see some nice architecture. Even though it's new and modern, they kind of resemble like the architecture. I don't know if it's in France, something like that, but we're gonna see ahead of me, you know. Like I said, this is the modern area of Iloilo. I'm staying not too far from here, like 10-minute walking distance. Also, the SM Iloilo Mall is not far from here. It's a massive mall. So and just look at this buildings over here. Wow. It's really nice and cool, you know. I think they're actually like condos, but they're pretty nice though. You can see what they did out here. So I figure the first floor is just like business and stuff, but I see like gyms. So yeah, that's actually really cool. I tell you, the weather's kicking in. And it's crazy how every region that you go around the Philippines has something different and unique to offer, you know, which is really cool. I think if I could shortcut and head towards the other side. So actually the Iloilo Convention Center is over that way. I'm gonna make my way towards that way, but I'm exploring this beautiful area right here, which is really cool. Nice, like I say, you know, there are many business districts throughout the entire Philippines, not just in the metro part of Manila, you know. Cebu has a business district, Davao too, and they're developing more business district. Then over here too, you know, Iloilo, you can see they have also, you know, central business just in the same level as Metro Manila. Only difference out here is that the buildings are not tall like in Manila, but still, they preserve them pretty nice and pretty modern, you know, and the streets are well paved and developed. Plenty of parking space out here for your cars and motorbike. So I think I'll do one more block and then I'm gonna head towards the other side and turn back, because I think that street is really cool to look at. And based on what I heard and what I see in the map, I think this is a pretty complete city. Like it literally has it all, you know, for everybody, for family, modern, old architecture, history. The food is great out here, you know, and of course the hospitality, which is all over the Philippines. It's just awesome. So they're actually building a hotel here, Belmont Hotel. So this area keeps developing. I wouldn't be surprised if they extend it all the way towards the end, towards an area that's called Atria. I think it's also like another mini business district where they have a lot of condos and Airbnbs. So it seems like in the future, you know, the city is gonna have a lot of modern buildings. Now I'm just gonna make it towards Megaworld Boulevard to see what can I find. I see a Courtyard Marriott ahead of me and a lot of modern brand new buildings, so let's check it out. This is Megaworld Boulevard, and if you go over that way, they're developing more. And then this building over here is actually the Courtyard by Marriott. So I think they got like 3 Marriotts in the Philippines here, Cebu and Manila near the airport. I could be wrong, but I think that's what they have. The convention center is right there. I love the modern architecture, so I'm gonna see if I can cross the street somehow. This kind of giving me a semi-vibe of Cebu IT Park, you know, like one street like this with modern buildings like call centers and stuff. You know, a little bit similar like that, but Iloilo version. This is the convention center right here. It looks like actually a little mini World Trade Center Oculus with the sign that it has, and it says Iloilo Convention Center. So I'm gonna have to walk over that way and cross towards the other side to film the front part. It looks actually really cool. And they even have a mall ahead of me, Megaworld Mall, which I say is what I love about the Philippines, that no matter where you go, they have malls. So if it's really hot outside, you can literally shelter yourself inside the mall for a bit. Well, there's a couple of hotels, a Richmond Hotel over here, but let me see if I can cross towards the other street. I made it to the other side, so let me show you the front part of the convention center. It looks actually really dope. So this is it right here, and they're maintaining the front area, you know, pretty nice. Nice and clean, and then it says Iloilo Convention Center right here. This is a pretty modern architecture they got happening over here. And then of course, combined with the trees, I feel like the area could use a little bit more trees, you know, to maintain it pretty nice and fresh. But this is the Iloilo Convention Center right here, which is actually really nice. Now let's make it towards the other way, towards where the mall is, to see what's going on. I'll probably head inside, you know, not sure if I'm allowed to film, but I'll see what's going on over there, you know, and refresh myself a little bit. since I'm gonna be outside for a bit in the heat and see what's going on. The Richmondi Hotel. So they got a couple of accommodations right here. The mall is ahead of me, has an overpass that will take you to the parking lot. And then like concentrates with 2 or 3 restaurants underneath, including a 7-Eleven. So pretty neat. So this is the outside of the Festive Walk. And then the entrance of the mall here with a beautiful fountain. So this is actually really nice. Took a little bit of a mall break walk around, but now let's keep hitting the streets and explore probably the other side of this road over here. Like I say, mostly modern complex. But I'm gonna show you probably another central district. And this is the other side over here with the new condos. This will take us straight to the Mayor Highway. And you got a sign ahead of me that says Megaworld Iloilo. So pretty nice district that they got happening right here. And look at this over here that gives you those European vibes. So yep, so far within a few blocks of the hotel that I'm staying, I'm loving Iloilo so far. And now let's walk to the Mayor Highway and make it to other districts out here. Obviously, if the heat permits, you know, I'm sensitive with the heat, but if anything, I'll stop somewhere and get a cup of water or something like that to hydrate myself. But yeah, New York was the opposite. I was filming in the cold weather, now I'm filming in the heat. But I don't mind it, you know. Here you can see how nice and organized the streets of Iloilo is, you know, clean, impeccable. People drive, you know, pretty organized, so yeah. Some of the cleanest cities in the Philippines, you know, that's what I've been hearing before I came here. And looking at it, witnessing it, it's actually true. This building that you see here is the Zuri Hotel. Pay roughly like maybe $40 a night. But it's being a great hotel. It's beautiful, it's clean. The staff is really friendly and accommodating. The breakfast is pretty good. They have a buffet, you know, with a lot of varieties and options out there. So, and it's right next to the mall, the Iloilo Mall, not too far from the new district I was filming. So, you know, it's actually really nice and really cool. But I'm gonna walk towards the other side to see what can I find. Right here, the Zuri Hotel. So if you guys want a place to stay in Iloilo, I recommend this hotel. It's pretty nice. And then next to it, there's a couple of restaurants. In the nighttime, it seems like it's vibrant, so I might check it out tonight. We got more than over here. It's like a strip of restaurants. Like I say, in the nighttime, it's nicer. They got music, lights. I walked there yesterday, and it was Friday. It seemed empty, so I don't know if it comes busier later, but today is Saturday, so I might give it a try tonight to see how are the vibes over there. Inside the Iloilo Mall, sheltering for some AC. The AC here is actually better than the other mall that I was walking. So let's say Mega Mall in Ortigas. It's right here in the heart of Iloilo, so it's actually pretty dope and really cool. Made it outside the Iloilo Mall. I'm gonna try to make it to a street called, I think it's Donato Pison Road. And that's also like another modern area there where they have a lot of condos, a couple of restaurants. I think they have one of those Ayala malls around there too. But then over here in the highway, we got some modern buildings. Here we got this outdoor shopping center that has like a European vibe, architecture. So it's pretty nice. And then there are some more developments. The older downtown is all the way towards the end. So I'm not sure if I'll make it over there later or tomorrow, you know. Today I'm just taking it in and exploring whatever I can around my hotel. You know, I just got here last night. After disappointment with the Airbnb, you know, I decided to just rest it off and then today do my exploration out here in Iloilo. I already got myself water, so I'm gonna stay hydrated. The only difference is I don't have my backpack on me like I normally do in the USA. But that's okay, you know, here in tropical weather, it's a little different when you're filming out in the cold. I'm gonna keep walking over to the other main street I wanna cover. And I don't know if I can handle the heat. I'll try to push it forward and make it towards the Iloilo River Esplanade. But it's like a boardwalk right by the riverfront, and I think it's gonna be pretty nice and epic. This is the busy highway over here with the traffic, and then over here is Donato Pison Road, I think. So I'm gonna make my right. It's also like a little mini district. They got a couple of hotels and restaurants around here. Actually, the Airbnb that I originally booked is all the way at the end. But a little bit isolated, so yeah, it's called Donato Pison Avenue. over here. So let's make a right to see what's going on around here. And I think in this area, there's a lot of foreigners that stay here by the Airbnb. There's a lot of Airbnbs in this area over here, but yeah. Maybe they might have a nightlife over here, but let's check it. So right now it's quiet, of course, because it's the weekend, but they got a cafe. At the end, you can see some condos. I think one of those condos might be the one that I try to book, that I try to stay. You know, here's District 21 Hotel. And then there should be a circle. I noticed that in the Philippines, in the highways, you know, they got circles. You know, it reminds me like when I'm in New Jersey. In New Jersey, they have circles too when you're driving around. You just got to pay attention when you do the turn. So they have them around. When I was driving in Cavite, and then over here ahead of me, according to the map, there is one. So when I reach a circle, I'm probably going to make a left and walk all the way towards the Esplanade River. I know it's another level when you're walking in the heat, but I'll do it for the video. Actually a big hotel. They got a ballroom in the back, and they got this building out here, so it looks nice too. I tried to book here, but I don't remember seeing it. They had breakfast available, so I chose the Sui Hotel. I gotta tell you, the people here are so polite. A delivery man was delivering McDonald's to some guests in the hotel, and then he turned back and accidentally didn't saw me. He said, "Hey, sorry." I'm like, no, it's okay, man. If it would have been in New York, you know, you probably would be getting some F-bombs. You got restaurants. So I'm pretty sure they have like a nightlife over here. Oops. Then they got this here. It's like a plaza with modern, brand new buildings. That one seems like they're building it right there. And there's like a monument ahead of me, so I gotta figure how can I cross the road. Cross the road like a pro. Gotta tell you what's crazy as they drive in the Philippines. They're very polite and stuff, and if they see you crossing, they slowly slow down to let you cross. But yeah, I'm gonna make a head, and then in the circle, I'll make my left. So it's not really that far. I think the issue is just that it gets really hot and humid out here, so I think, but the good thing about the Philippines, usually in the evening, like 4 or 5 o'clock, the weather cools down, so it's better for you to explore. The Airbnb that I tried to book, and it was a fail, it's all the way towards the end. It looks a little similar to this building. It's all like Seda. I think it's actually, the first building you see over there is 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 or 4 towers, so I was gonna stay in the third tower. But then the room was dirty. You guys wondering, I arrived like around 6 something, you know, I booked over 24 hours ahead of time, and it was still, you know, dirty. I know people make mistakes, nobody's perfect, but I just feel like, you know, if you're operating a business, you should know better, you should be prepared. But, you know, I'm a guy who respects and stuff, so I'm not gonna expose really the Airbnb or the host and stuff like that. I know a lot of bloggers, they love doing that, but I'm not that type of guy, you know. He's probably perfect, because reviews were good, but maybe just a little mistake that he did, but it's all good, you know, we carry on. At the end of the day, it was a blessing because I love the hotel better than where I was gonna stay. Oh, Atria, because they got a couple of malls. One of those Ayala malls is over there, and then over here, the Galleria and the hotel, the Palawan shop. Damn, now that I'm gonna cross the street, all the cars to my right side are coming. Ooh. Waterfront should be like where the buildings are. So just gonna look at my Google Maps for a bit and then make a turn towards where the riverfront is. And I tell you, no matter what streets of Iloilo you go, they're pretty nice and impeccable and like a modern city, you know. So the city might be underrated out here in the Philippines, you know, because it's actually pretty nice. Look at the street, how well paved they are, pretty nice, you know. Iloilo Tech Hub. So I guess it's all about the technology too. Then I think there's a sign that says the boardwalk ahead of me. So the boardwalk should be right there in front of me. Yes, I see literally the sign ahead of me that says the boardwalk. So that's why I'm trying to make it. But yep, let me figure my way towards the boardwalk and then explore the area. I'm trying to make it to the Esplanade by that shopping area, but it seems like it's closed, so I'm gonna figure another way. According to Google Maps, I gotta make the longer way, even though it's hot. I think in the evening is when this place gets pretty lit. If anything, I'll just try again later, but let me see if I can make it towards the other part, the other entrance of the river boardwalk. Here's the other entrance now. I can actually go in, but there's literally nobody, I guess because of the heat. But I guess it's good because I have the whole place to myself. Iloilo Esplanade. So they have a plaza and they have another area over here. It's 1.2 kilometers. We're gonna go check it out. Actually, I want to capture something right here. Beautiful plaza here with some monuments, you know, like the indigenous tribe. See it right here. gorgeous, and then there's a sign ahead of me, so I figured the afternoon this is gonna be really popping out here. I gotta tell you, looking at this river walk and some of the modern buildings, it's reminding me a lot between Harrison, New Jersey and Newark, New Jersey, where they got the Passaic River, and they have like a waterfront like this with new development, so it kind of bringing me that vibe, like if I'm back in New Jersey. There's a river in the waterfront. Then the business will take it to the downtown old historic district. I can see the beautiful architecture ahead of me, wow. So that will be in the afternoon or maybe tomorrow when the weather gets stable. Also, man's over there fishing. And in the bottom it looked like it was a mangrove or something like that, but yeah. Really cool, so I'm gonna walk party a little bit, not the entire 1.2 kilometer, but just a little bit of the Esplanade to see, you know, what's going on out here. I'm walking where this appears to be the boardwalk. So far, I'm the only guy out here. So pretty quiet. But it's a good place for you to wake up early in the morning and go jogging, running around, you know. Pretty nice looking park. This is it over here, and then they got the trees, but the water is right there. So it kind of looks like mangrove. Let me see if I can try to show a little bit. So literally the trees they hit with the water or the river. And this is the medical center or the hospital out here. So yeah, it's pretty nice. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna come back here since it's just, you know, a few hours that I've been here in Iloilo. So I don't know if I'm gonna add the other video where I filmed the old downtown district to this video. Today I am in the old downtown area of Iloilo, specifically in Plaza Libertad, right out here in the square, in the heart of it all, you know. So I'm gonna walk around here and figure where to go next. So we're gonna see what's happening in this beautiful city out here. So without further ado, join me. So far, because it's a Saturday, it's pretty quiet out here today. Earlier I was filming the modern part of Iloilo, if you guys wanna check it out. And I tell you, the heat was just blazing, but now it's actually pretty quiet. But I'm gonna see what's happening around here in the plaza. You know, we got some beautiful structures. You know, the plaza's pretty nice and well maintained out here. So gonna see what's going on. Also, they even have an outdoor gym here, but not sure if it has a specific, you know, hour or something like that. Maybe in the evening it'll probably get nicer. There's like a small church out here. Like I said in many of my videos, man, like when I walk around many towns in the Philippines or cities, it reminds me a lot of home, of Puerto Rico, you know, because of the Spanish influences, you know, both of these countries, they were colonized by Spain, you know, centuries ago. So that's why if you walk around, you're gonna see the plazas, architecture, and a lot of similarities out here. Yeah, just look at this over here. It looks nice, you know, the church behind me. It's actually pretty nice. And then over here ahead is the Iloilo City Hall. So it's a modern building right here, you know. So I'll walk a little bit. Kind of giving me a semi-vibes of Intramuros in Manila, but much more chill, much more quiet, you know. Oh, they actually have a little plaza and square out here. Let's check it out. See some young people ahead of me. It seems like they're doing TikTok, you know. I don't see where the camera is, but I see them dancing and stuff. And then, of course, you got the city hall right here. You see the beauty of the plaza, the trees and the palm trees, how well maintained it is. And then we got a train. This is like a decoration out here. But now I'm gonna start making my way deep into the city. I'm reading about right here. I think the street is called J.M. Basa Street. So that part is gonna take me to other parts, you know, of Iloilo and see what can I find. Probably gonna be a lot of nice mixture architecture out there, so we'll see what's going on. So here's the plaza, and then J.M. Basa Street is right here, and we're gonna roll straight to see what can we come across and what can we run into. So far, man, because it's a weekday, it's pretty chill out here today. Not much going on. Oh, they have another outdoor gym out here. So nice. Here's part of the city of Iloilo. Got the tricycles out here. Let me see it, they're a Jeepney. This is what the Jeepneys look like. It's like a red truck. It's like every area, every city I go, the Jeepneys are different from one another one. And here we got like an older building. They could renovate and make it a little bit nicer. Not much happening over here. But they got I think there's like a museum, this brown building in the corner. But I'm gonna see if I find more interesting things ahead of me. Other streets here. I can say it's empty because it's Saturday, but they're pretty impeccable and clean. Look at this tree, like it's wrapped up with the building, the branches and stuff like that. At least it gets some vegetation and some cool air in this heat. So Then ahead of me, it gets actually more interesting. There are some cool things to look at, so I'll show you guys what's going on ahead of me. So we got another plaza right here. And ahead is where I see nice looking architecture. So it's gonna be really cool. This is just much more chill vibe if you're in the Luzon area. This is the Visayas region. And this is all over the Philippines. Jollibee. You can never go wrong with that, no matter what part of the city you go. You'll find this literally all over there. I like the way how the signs are written in blue. And then you got another nice looking street over here all the way towards the end. But here, this is pretty much like you get all over. Just like I was showing you some parts of Manila and Davao. What I like about the Philippines is how they have this ceiling over here that protects you from the rain or the heat. And then they got like the business and the sidewalks with cobblestones. What we got here. This area is much more quiet than when I was walking around Davao, but we'll see what's going on. And I think ahead of me it gets actually more busier. I gotta tell you, the building behind me is actually gorgeous. So I'm gonna cross the street and show you the nice architecture that's happening behind me. I think I'm gonna use it like my thumbnail, this beautiful building behind me. Nice architecture. But like I said, the streets are not too busy, so maybe in a weekday or in another time it gets busier. The old architecture, they're popping up like a condo ahead. So it's like literally two cities in one, because the area that I'm staying is literally different from this area. That's like in many other cities of the Philippines. So then we got more going on here, like stores, supermarkets, vendors, and once again, you gotta watch the step. Oh wow, Sam's shoe store. This reminds me of a store in Puerto Rico, La Gloria, where you sell some really good shoes, you know, good products and stuff, and decent prices. To be honest, this is actually reminding me of when I went to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Like the architecture like this, the streets, you know, the chill vibes. Kind of give me a lot of similarities, you know, and then nice, you know, impeccable sidewalks. I think if I was across the other side of the street, the architecture would be nice, because over here it's pretty nice looking building over here in the corner, you know. It could be like a hotel or anything. They could do anything here. Then regular streets and stores out here. They're renovating the sidewalks. There's all the blocks over there, and then they make it new, so that's actually really cool. And it just keeps going, you know, the plaza, all the stores and stuff. So the difference between Davao, there was a lot of hardware stores. Over here they have, wow, look at this bakery. That's really nice. And clothes and products and stuff. So they literally have it all over here. And then of course shoes, probably fake stuff, but nobody will know. And then the development ahead of me. And it seems like it gets more busy over here. Here you see more people, more action going on. So we literally sell fruits all over. And once I make the vlog ahead, I think I'm gonna detour to my left. Apparently, according to the map that I'm seeing, there's like another Chinatown arch, just like the one I saw in Davao. So I want to check out to see how this one here in Iloilo looks like. So I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. But so far, you know, Iloilo is being a really cool city, you know, much more like chill over here, but it's a city that has it all, you know, from modern to old architecture and really nice, friendly people and malls, so it has it all over here. Here's pretty busy, and then here you see the new building, and then to my left should be the Chinatown Arch. And here's a Filipino-Chinese friendship arch. So not sure if it's like a Chinatown, but I'm gonna walk the street towards the end to see what can I find, to see how it compares to Davao. So it seems like this Chinatown is just mostly hardware stores. They only have like a couple of food stuff and then furniture stores. I want to see what's happening a couple of blocks ahead of me, like what are the vibes. Then like old architecture that I feel like they can renovate or paint the building and make it, you know, actually pretty nicer, but the traffic jam is pretty intense. So that's what's going on over here. Yeah, just like Davao, this Chinatown or the Chinese Friendship Arch, when you walk around here, it's not really like restaurants and stuff. It's just mostly like hardware stores at both sides, you know. So yeah, but it's still pretty interesting to look at a different type of city out here in the Visayas region. Davao's in the Mindanao, and then we are here in Visayas. As you can see, it keeps going, but not much happening. I think the area that's more exciting is where I was filming early this morning. I think at the nighttime, the vibes are probably gonna be a little bit more different. I also noticed they have a couple of nice churches or cathedrals over here, so I'm probably gonna Google where they are and check them out. I still got one more day here tomorrow. So I think that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow, to check it out. I'm in De Leon Street, so I'm gonna walk straight towards Robinson's. You know, most of the streets here, they look pretty much similar, but if you want like action and vibrancy, we mostly get it in Manila, you know, and a lot of neighborhoods out there, like I was filming Baclara and Quiapo, and no matter what day of the week it is, it's always packed. But once you go outside to like the province, Visayas and Mindanao, it's much more like a chiller vibe. So this is pretty much what you get. Like I say, if this would be Manila, it would be super crowded, the streets. And then, you know, like the old buildings, old architecture. So yeah, this is the old part of Iloilo, the downtown district. It's going, and there's a little church over there. Then there's a hotel, GT Hotel Iloilo. So really cool, man. Out there right there driving the, it looks like a golf cart, the tricycle that you can get around. And once again, the heat is starting to kick in. Something that I've been hearing is that in the province, the heat or the weather's hotter than in Manila. I thought it was the opposite way, because Manila's like a big city, but I'm starting to believe that, because when I was filming earlier, I literally almost died with the heat, and even a little rash came out of my skin because of the hot weather. And this is the beautiful yellow church here. Pretty simple, but it's nice to look at. And they got them all over the Philippines. So I think I'm gonna wrap up my video over here. You know, my first day exploring out here in the beautiful city of Iloilo. I'll focus in the modern area, but stay tuned for the old historic district. So God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.